Today we're going to what may just be the loneliest train station in Germany. But what makes a station lonely? Is it isolation? Is it lack of connecting transit? Lack of amenities? Lack of onward service? Or even just vibes? Join me and my friend Jack as we explore a station that may just tick all these boxes and more, and a little series we're calling Off the Beaten Track. Hello and welcome to Husum. We're waiting for our next train to hopefully go to one of the most remote, loneliest train stations in Germany. This station's wild. You can tell it was more major at one point. There was like abandoned platforms and stuff. I'm sure if you can see right there, but that right there where there's now like bike parking stuff definitely used to be a different platform. Is that RB64 right there, the train we need? That's going to take us to what is probably the most remote, loneliest train station in Germany. Or one of them. Maybe this will be a series. Say hi, Jack.
Howdy.
Or I guess sub-series, because this is all part of TFTSB. Anyways, welcome again to the real north, Schleswig-Holstein. Look, if the trains call it that, I'm going to keep calling it that. Last time you caught Jack and I, we had just explored the town of Rendsburg, Germany, home to what was once the longest railway bridge in the country, and still an absolute engineering marvel. But now we found ourselves in the resort town of Husum, preparing for a rather odd regional train towards a town called St. Peter-Ording, though that wasn't our final destination. A perfect candidate for a lonely train station is perhaps along a rural regional Bahn route in the middle of this North German state. It's one that will be ranking on the categories of transit connections, amenities, location, and train service. Say how frequently it's actually served by trains.
I'm told I'm very bizarre because I'm one of the few people who actually enjoys to sit going backwards on the trains. It's just very comfy to me.
It is neat.
It is neat. I just find it comforting.
Rural regional Bahn trains in Germany almost deserve their own designation from other regional trains. On major routes, you'll see trains labeled like this that make all local stops, such as on the route between Hamburg and Kiel, usually accompanied by skip-stop regional express services. So for example, if there's the RB81 that goes from Hamburg to Bad Oldesloe making all stops, then the RE8 to Lübeck, which also serves that route but skips most of those stops, would accompany it. But in rural areas, the regional Bahn is usually the only rail option. In many cases, even in these remote areas, you can still expect at least hourly service though, which is really respectable. You know, I spent part of my childhood in Houston, and yeah, one long distance train in each direction every 2 days? Yeah. A good example of how Germany really tackles rural transport is on the RB33 route from Buxtehude to Bremerhaven, for instance, which leads to hourly service to some towns with fewer than 600 residents. Now, not all parts of Germany are great at this, and the entire country of Germany has actually lost thousands of kilometers of train trackage since the year 2000, though it still has one of, if not the densest rail network in Europe. But what happens if a town is deemed to be too low traffic for regular train service, but the powers that be don't want to remove said service altogether? That's where we get Bedarfshaltestellen, in English, request stops.
Just realized for what's potentially the most isolated train station in Germany, it's a Bedarfshalt, which means it's a request stop, and I've never actually used one of those before on a regular train. I've been on some routes where they have like a little button, you know, like on a bus. So how does that work here?
Essentially, by the doors, they have these buttons that they look a lot like the door open buttons, but they say stop on it, or rather, stop. They're big red buttons with white outlines, and they are so fun to press. And the phone booth is starting with the train. I've used request stops down in Bavaria where they run little lanes. And on those lines, you do actually just have to press the door open button while it's in motion to request the stop.
Oh.
And it's funny because it doesn't sign that very clearly. You just sort of have to know.
Oh, that is so weird. But I mean, I guess it's oriented at the people who live there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, no, why make it tourist accessible, but still just weird.
You know what I really want to see?
What's that?
Stadler flirts with request cables.
Oh my god, like an American bus, like...
Well, in some places they call them flag stops, literally because back in the day, a station attendant would have to use a literal flag to wave down the train to stop. Not really done nowadays though, and trains have other means of detecting passengers at request stops. If you're on the train though and want to get off at one of these stations, you have to literally request the train to stop there. On some routes, even in Germany, this involves flagging down an actual conductor and telling them, hey, stop there, and then they have to relay that message to the train driver. But on the RB64 towards St. Peter-Ording here, which is also unique due to have the reverse direction out of one station, Toning, it's much easier. A simple button does the trick. And thus, we get to our destination for the day. Welcome to Kotting.
Alright everyone, let me show you how to Bedarfshalt. So, you see this button, oh it should be right yay here that says stop. You press that. And now, there's a little stop indicator up there, kind of like on a bus, but we're on a train. Let me show you where we are on the map. So this is Husum. This right here is where we're going. And that down there is Hamburg. Now, so hello. There is not a lot here. I feel very isolated.
Suggested by members of the TFTSB Discord server, also Bridge of Stoat now, Kotting is served hourly by the RB64, albeit as a request stop, such we have just a little under an hour until the next train. Things are staggered a bit as the station is understandably single-tracked. Kotting is a fascinating, tiny community. The 2011 census data shows only around 200 people in this incorporated area, and no updated data exists since then, so we can rightfully assume less than 200. The nearest major, if you'd want to call it that, town is Toning, with only around 4,500 people. And yeah, that's the town where our train had to reverse out of.
How would we rate the vibe, just off the bat? The vibe, honestly.
The vibe, very high.
Lonely.
Around the station is nothing. Pitch darkness. Farmlands, a railway crossing with no gates. The vibes are absolutely there. We were isolated.
Even the trash can's like completely empty. This is wild.
And though there is a bus stop at the station, there's zero actual transit connections. Strictly just here in case a replacement bus is needed. Just bizarre.
I gotta say, as far as getting into town, I can see no homes or anything from the station right now. It has the ability to have more, but it's so bizarre. Oh my god, wait, actually, look at this. So there's a railway crossing over here. You can't really see it, but it doesn't even have gates. And also, if you need a bathroom, well, lucky for you, there's some field right here.
The station is nice enough though, and has clearly been redone recently. While there's no proper building, there is a shelter, ticket machines, T-pose men on each side of the platform, and even a bench that's pretty layable on. Oh, and there's Wi-Fi? Yeah, fast Wi-Fi at that. What a pleasant surprise.
The tick machine.
Yo, the room for two here?
It's actually quite spacious.
Oh, this is cozy.
This is cozy.
The website for the area encompassing Kotting, eiderstedt.net, lists a few major features. There's an old church, there's a historic barn that's been turned into a bar, there's a few other things that have all apparently permanently closed. And they're actually a short drive from where the station is, and they do recommend getting there by car or bike. And that's because the station is quite literally located between several farmers' fields.
It's a little chilly, and the bar is killing my back, but I can lay down on it. Woo! Good job, caddy.
The fact that this is so isolated, a request stop, served by a regional train that has to reverse out of a station, and in such a sparsely populated area, really may just make this the loneliest train station in Germany. No word describes it better. Lonely. Germany has hard to reach train stations. Inconvenient stations. Even a train station in a town called Elend, literally misery. But none have ever felt quite so lonely to me as Kotting.
Wow, that's echoey.
I'm not sure if I could recommend checking it out, but I'm glad I visited. I'd like to thank my friend Jack from Stotalk Transit for coming along with me for this adventure. He makes some great transit content of his own, is well worth checking out and subscribing to.
You ready for our one and only non-request stop on this route for what we're taking?
This is gonna be awesome. We're gonna stop, and then we're gonna continue, and no one's gonna press any buttons.
Wow.
In addition, this video was made possible in part by ExpressVPN. Use my code here in the description below to change your location access content, maybe blocked in your region, or even just to keep yourself safe online while browsing. And yeah, that's it, Sir Plug. They said it was cool. Use my code though. 4 months free on a big subscription.
Camera filmed a reflection of that.
Good.
I will say, these on flirts, these elevated forces just before the bendy bit, articulation, is absolutely one of the best locations on trains for shots like this.
Absolutely. You know my favorite thing about these trains are? When people say they're gonna Stadler flirt with my mom.
Now, let's answer a viewer question. As you may know, I also do daily shorts in addition to my long-form content, and if you didn't know, now you do. And I recently did one getting the official Volkswagen sausage in Wolfsburg, which itself is home to the big Volkswagen factory. And someone asked simply, where did you get those? Funny enough, I didn't buy them from inside the Volkswagen factory, but actually from a little shop right next to the train station. The actual package of sausages was $5, and they had an official ketchup for sale as well. And as this is a Volkswagen, you can also order this online. They even have their own official part number. Because of that, it's considered the most mass-produced of any of Volkswagen's parts. So that's pretty neat.
Well, what do you think? That's it for the very first Off the Beaten Track, but we have another coming soon from yet another place in the real north, an even more exotic location than last time. Neumünster Süd. How was that?
I was just gonna walk to the wall.
This is what I do, I sit on you, sit on you, sit on you. This is what I do, I sit on you, right on your lap. This is what I do, I sit on you, sit on you, sit on you. This is what I do, I sit on you, right on your head.